The NBA needs to shut down. Hi, it's your boy Perp. Let's get straight into this video. So basically, what's happening is that sports teams across the world, and especially within the United States, have become severely depleted over the past few weeks. NBA teams are seeing upwards of 5 to 10 players test positive for COVID and end up in health and safety protocols, which basically means that they can't play any games. This is bad because some of these players are in fact the best players on their team. This is not just affecting players either, this is affecting coaches and staff. This is bad, really bad. At this point in time, the NBA has a few options. They can call up a lot of the G League roster, which is what a lot of the teams are doing right now, and sign hardship contracts, or they can shut down the league entirely. And that is probably what's going to end up happening over the next few weeks. I anticipate that by Christmas time, this situation will probably have gotten to the point where they're going to have to shut down the entire league. Also to take into account here is the fact that a lot of NBA players are already being injured. The past few seasons have been very injury plagued, and that's sort of carried over into this season as well. A lot of players are injured, either short-term or long-term, and it's not really good for the health of the league. So imagine that, plus now all of your NBA players are testing positive. That's not good, especially coming off of 2 seasons where you not really had that as an issue. They had the bubble that worked out pretty well because nobody really caught COVID. They had the last season, which managed to go over pretty well. Nothing bad really happened last season, but all of a sudden, almost I'd say about a month or 2 or 3 into this season, and everything is plagued with problems. People are either injured or they're out in health and safety protocol, and it's really not good for the health of the league. At this point, if I was an NBA team owner, if I was an NBA player, I'd seriously consider shutting down the league. It's actually a little bit ironic because one of the players who's currently in health and safety protocol is Kyrie Irving, the same guy who made the rounds in the beginning of the season for refusing to get a vaccine. Now, I already talked about that in a previous video. At the end of the day, that's his decision. It's a stupid one, quite frankly, but it's his decision and you can't really do anything about it. But yeah, I already bit him in the ass because he was signed out of hardship. The Nets needed a player, especially a good one who can drop easily 20 points a game, and they decided to sign him back because there's a point at which you can do something like leave out an all-star from your team, and at this time, given everything that's happening in the league and the uncertainty of the immediate future, yeah, I fully understand why they decided to re-sign Kyrie Irving. But yeah, literally like less than a day after they announced he'd be coming back, he's donezo. He's out. He's out for health and safety protocol. And it's not just him. Kevin Durant is out. Evan Mobley's out. Anthony Davis is out short term with an MCL sprain. Who else? My guy, Spicy P, Pascal Siakam is out as well, which is a bit sad. I think Westbrook is out. I'll have to check again. He was out a few days ago. Basically, at this point, many NBA teams are missing well over half their roster, and I've seen some teams having less than 10 players available for their games. And that's not really good, especially when you have to make subs, because there's 5 people in the game, and you can sub on 3 or 4 people a game. You can use as many as like 10 to 15 people a game, probably even more than that. I'm not an expert at basketball, but either way, that's really not good. To add on to that, up here in Canada, the government is really considering putting in renewed protocols because of Omicron. So it wouldn't be really surprising if we got put in another lockdown or we had new travel restrictions. They've already started lowering capacity at games as we speak. They're probably gonna lock everything down if it gets out of control. But until we can seriously determine what Omicron actually is, there's a very good chance that games will be significantly altered, and that more than likely all NBA players would have to give negative tests in order to be able to play, probably before the game, probably even just before landing, that sort of thing. Part of the reason this situation is so bad is that you have to consider in the past week alone how many NBA players have entered protocols. Out of 86 all season, not even 86, it's more than that at this point, probably about 95. Out of more than 90 this season, more than 50 have entered this week, and more than 70 have entered over the course of the month, just in December alone. And over the course of this week, that's from whatever Sunday was up until 18th of December, more than 50 players have entered protocols, and these are active players. These are people that play significant roles in their teams. There are teams like the Bulls and the Nets that are basically missing half of the roster, that are basically missing all the key pieces that they need to be able to succeed, and that means that they're more than likely going to start losing games. Again, I don't expect this to happen for long, not unless the league wants to lose out on the cash cow that is their superstars. But yeah, that just sort of gives you an idea of how badly the situation that the NBA is like right now. The NBA is just down bad at this point. Like, no other way to put it. The NBA cannot move forward. And I'm just talking about the NBA in this video. I haven't even begun to talk about the NFL and the NHL, and specifically the NFL, because I know there are teams that are missing 25 players. They have to start signing people out of, college or XFL, because that's how bad the situation is over there. So yeah, imagine in the NBA alone, this is already bad enough. Imagine other sports leagues, especially a league like the NFL, where COVID isn't necessarily taken as seriously as it is in the NBA, although that could be just my weird interpretation of it. Now, this has all sort of got me thinking, what the hell happens next? Well, I'd say give it about a week, because now is the time where we really have to consider how many people are actually sick and how many people are just getting positive tests. Because, there's a difference here. With this disease and all the variants associated with it, it's just literally a matter of time before we really know what's going on. Like, with Delta variant, or whatever it was called, it took a while, but people sort of figured it out, booster shots and whatnot. And without politicizing it too much, the vaccine does really help a lot with things. It's a really good way of protecting yourself. Please go get the shot if you haven't yet. Overall, though, the effect that this particular variant, Omicron, has on the NBA and on other sports leagues, I honestly think it's probably gonna shut them down. In fact, I think it's inevitable. I think the NBA will shut down. Maybe by the end of the year. Hopefully not, because I don't want people to go home for Christmas and not get their paychecks. But yeah, if this situation becomes as serious as I think it is, I've talked to people. They think school is going to stay closed after the holidays. I've talked to teachers. I've talked to friends of mine. I've talked to people who work. They say they might get laid off, stuff like that. It's already a really bad situation at this point, and it could get so much worse. But that's my side of the story. That's what I think. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe and share with your friends. If you want to see more content, let me know what you want to see in the comments down below. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, I'll see you next time. Peace out.